Welcome back to Greenlight Studio. I'm Luke from Greenlight Studio, and I just saw the newest Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man Brand New Day. And with that, there are now 11 feature-length Spider-Man films, and I'm going to be ranking them all. Now, to preface this a little bit, I'm not a comic book fan. I've never read a comic book in my life, unless you count Dogman. So I'm approaching these movies just like as movies by themselves. So if you're a comic book nerd and you're going to correct me on something, go ahead. I love the engagement, but I kind of don't care. So I think that when it comes to Spider-Man movies, he is one of the most consistent superheroes, and I would argue maybe the most consistent superheroes when it comes to his movies, because I would say all except one are either fine to amazing. Amazing, like Amazing Spider-Man. But and obviously the one that is not fine is a piece of shit movie, which is the last place, 11th, and that is The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Now, I think that growing up and maturing is realizing that definitively, easily, Andrew Garfield is the worst Spider-Man. And I know that I offended a lot of people who have some Andrew nostalgia and maybe some 11-year-olds, but I just don't think he's good. I don't think he is that good of a fit. I think if you are judging like the three actors, yes, Andrew Garfield is the best actor. Like if you look at their entire careers, so he's got the chops, right? But he doesn't fit Spider-Man. He's a little too cool, a little too suave. He's too quippy, and in this movie, the quips they're a little much. I kind of find Spider-Man a little bit annoying in this movie. I don't like his snark, especially when like there's people dying and he's just like making little quips to Rhino.
Mr. Criminal. Hey, my name is Spider-Man. You can call me Webhead. You can call me Amazing. Just don't call me late for dinner. You get it?
I think it's annoying. I also think that all the villains in here kind of suck. Obviously, Rhino is terrible, probably like the worst executed villain in this entire franchise. And this movie is just setting up so much that eventually never got made because this movie was just so bad. I think that the Raimi trilogy was campy. I think Raimi is inherently campy, and also because they're adapting comic books, they stick to that campy style. So those movies have that goofy side to them that has its charm and it's appealing. But when they rebooted it into the Amazing Spider-Man, they tried to make it more serious. But then this movie also kept a lot of the goofy stuff. Like Electro is super campy and goofy, and I trusted Jamie Foxx to be good because Jamie Foxx is a very good actor. But man, is the Electro just shit in this movie and just delivers the goofiest, stupidest lines.
It's my birthday. Now it's time for me to light my candles.
The mix of like very serious, grounded, but then also the campy side, which is trying to stick to what people liked about the Raimi trilogy, it just doesn't blend very well, and it makes for a movie that is bad. I would say the only good part of this movie is some of the stuff with the relationship between Gwen Stacy and Peter Parker, which I think that Emma Stone is probably like the best part of this movie. She fits the role the best, and we're going into full spoilers in this video, by the way. When Gwen Stacy dies, I think that is genuinely a great moment. But both Electro and Spider-Man in this movie are better when they come back in No Way Home, which isn't even their own movie. So I think that says something. But I don't know. This is a dog shit movie. So that's why it's at number 11. And it's the only bad movie on this list. But that brings us to our number 10, which is not a bad movie, but a very mediocre one. And that is Spider-Man Far From Home. I'm actually very, as you will see, I'm positive on all the other Tom Holland movies, but I think Far From Home is the Spider-Man movie that feels the most soulless because it feels the most like MCU slop. It's the plot here is really stupid. I feel like that's been talked about a lot, but the whole entire plot of like Tony leaving these glasses to this kid, and Jake Gyllenhaal's a lot of fun, but his like the villain's plot, it's kind of bullshit. Like it makes no sense, and some of the ways that they connect us to the MCU with like the Skrulls. It's just lame. It's just kind of a lame movie. There's cool things about it. There's stuff that I like. You know, it can be kind of funny. You know, but like, it's just kind of mid. It's borderline MCU slop. With that said, this one's gonna make a few people mad. But number 9 is The Amazing Spider-Man 1. Like I said, Andrew Garfield is the weakest Spider-Man for me. No hate on him because I love him. But yeah, I think this is the most like by the numbers movie when it comes to Spider-Man. I would even argue it is the most forgettable Spider-Man movie. There's just not much to it. I feel like it came too soon after the Raimi trilogy and just kind of retreaded a lot of that without offering anything new. I already gave my qualms with Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. It's just fine. Like, I gave this movie like 3 stars. Like, no huge complaints, but at the same time, like, yeah, it's like, it's mid. All right, number 8. I think this is the one that, you know what did I say it? Number 8 is Spider-Man 3. I feel like there was a time where this was just on everybody's bottom of the list, maybe except TASM 2. TASM is short for The Amazing Spider-Man. If you're a real Spider-Man fan, you'll know that. But it's just a little Spider-Man slang. But Spider-Man 3, I think, has the biggest range of when it comes to its highs and its lows. Because there's problems with this movie, yes. The plotline still mix very well. I hate the melodrama of all of these movies. I hate the melodrama of the 3 Raimi movies. And sometimes the romance is just kind of stupid, and I think both the melodrama and the romance are at their worst in this movie. And yes, it has plenty of stupid moments, but the stupid moments in TASM 2 kind of make me roll my eyes and just say, okay, yeah, just like get it over with. I'm bored. But Spider-Man 3, it still has that Raimi charm. So this has a style that I at least like and can appreciate, especially when you can compare it to the like soulless Marvel corporate slop that we get now. Spider-Man 3, it's fun. It's fun. And Sandman is cool. The Harry Osborn in this is just so much better than in TASM 2 because it was actually fleshed out through the previous 2 movies. So yes, there's stupid things about it, but you know what? I kind of like it. Tobey Maguire dancing as Emo Peter. I kind of like it, all right? I think when people complain about that stuff saying it's too corny, it's too cringy, I think that it is intended to be cringy. And at the same time, I think all 3 Raimi movies are kind of cringe and kind of campy. So it's a little bit silly to complain about this one being too cringe or too campy because it doesn't stray that far from what these movies are. So yeah, it's still like a 3-star movie. It's only fine, but that's why I have it above some that most people wouldn't have it this high, I would say. All right, number 7. Now this is when we get into the actual good stuff. I give, from this point on, this is at least 3.5 out of 5 stars, and 3.5 out of 5 is pretty darn good for a superhero movie. At least for me. You know, I am not a superhero guy. So as a big movie guy, 3.5 for a Marvel film, you're doing pretty good. And with that said, my number 7 is Spider-Man No Way Home. Now, let's be honest. We all glazed this movie out of the gate walking in that theater because seeing the, spoiler alert, all 3 Spider-Man together on screen, that's crazy stuff. You know, I still can't believe they did that. That is kind of crazy. And like I said, Andrew Garfield, I think, is at his best in this movie, funny enough, because it's not his movie. And the way that they complete both of those arcs, because I think there was supposed to be a Spider-Man 4 with Tobey Maguire, and there obviously was supposed to be more the Amazing Spider-Man movies, but we never got them. So to have it here and have those characters followed up in a very meaningful way is cool. Like, it's not just, oh, look, do you remember these characters? They actually do something with them. Is the main plot with Doctor Strange kind of stupid and how they get there with all the curses and like the, oh no, can you do this curse so that my friends can go to college? Yes. It's dumb, but it's not a huge issue for me because like it's the MCU. Like, it's fine. Like, but with that said, this movie I think has gotten some backlash in the past years for being nostalgia bait. Kind of. And fan service, yeah, kind of. But I think it's nostalgia bait and fan service that is well done and has a lot of thought and care put into it. And it's cool. So, like, I don't really care. All right, number 6. While I still really like this movie and very positive on this movie, I think that people will get mad at me for putting this low. But at my number 6 is Spider-Man. The first one. Spider-Man 1 with Tobey Maguire. The one that started it all, as they say. I think now, like, in retrospect, this movie's really nothing crazy. You know, like, it set a standard for superhero movies. It was very influential, like, up there with the original X-Men, which I actually like this movie. I think this movie ages a lot better than that first X-Men movie, which was the same era. But it works, you know, the style works. Willem Dafoe is a lot of fun. It's a fun movie, and it does its job. And I don't think there's anything crazy in this movie. There's some stuff that maybe doesn't age that well, but it's good. Like, it's a good movie. Like, I don't really have any complaints. I just think that the other ones have a little more sauce, maybe. I like them a little bit more. So that's what it comes down to right now. Number 5, Spider-Man Homecoming. I know that this might be glazed. A lot of people will put this quite a bit lower. If you asked me when I was like first watching these movies, when I was actually really into this genre, and I was first watching the Spider-Man movies, I would tell you, which yes, that was like, I was like 11 years old. So it was also like before several of these movies came out. I would tell you that Spider-Man Homecoming is my favorite of the Spider-Man movies. And I still stand by that it's a very well done movie. I think that this is the movie of all of these which capture the high school aspect of it the best. This has gotten John Hughes comparisons, which they parody Ferris Bueller in one scene, which I really enjoyed. And yeah, I really appreciate that. I think that's really fun. And that's kind of why I like this movie so much. It feels like a teen movie with Spider-Man in it. And I think that's cool. And I also think that Vulture, in this movie played by Michael Keaton, is maybe the best live-action Spider-Man villain. Maybe. Maybe. Okay? And I think that reveal at the end and Spider-Man in Vulture's car, that's a really great scene. It's just such a fun movie. It's just such an easy watch. I think that Tom Holland really brings that boyish charm, and I'm going to say it right now, Tom Holland is the best live-action Spider-Man. I know. People hate on that because he's in the MCU, and people like to hate on the MCU. Hey, I like to hate on the MCU. But I think Tom Holland is that perfect mix of Andrew's suaveness and Tobey's dorkiness and campiness. And he just has a certain charm. I think he's the best one. And I think that Brand New Day, which as you can tell is higher on the list, I think solidified that for me. So yeah, Homecoming, like it a lot. And it's underrated. All right, number 4. This is when it gets tight. All right, this is a tight race. I feel like it was already a tight race with 5. Number 4, I have Spider-Man 2. Whew. It took the first movie and then it just upped the ante a little bit more. Doc Ock. I said that Vulture was the best live-action Spider-Man villain. He is in competition with Dr. Octopus from Spider-Man 2. The train scene is amazing. I think the romance in here is not as insufferable as it is in 3. It's just such a fun movie, Pizza Time.
Pizza time.
It kind of perfected the Spider-Man movie. Like, it is in its own little way like a perfect Spider-Man movie. It's not the best, because I think there are obviously 3 other movies that do a little bit more with the character and with the world than this movie. But, like, it perfected that formula, and it's a great movie. We all know. I think a lot of us have this as the best live-action Spider-Man movie. And you know what? That's okay. It's okay. Number 3. I might get slammed for the recency bias of this pick, but I really, really liked this movie when I saw it last night, and that is Spider-Man Brand New Day. Now, I honestly did not have that high of expectations for this movie. Considering that it's an MCU movie in 2026, I was like, okay, so it's going to be like slop. But maybe because it's Spider-Man, it's going to be some fun slop. It wasn't slop. It wasn't slop. And this, at one point, had a 4.2 on Letterboxd, which is crazy. Now it has a 4.1, which is still crazy. Guys, I give this 4 stars. 4 stars. Is that glaze? Maybe a little. I was between that 3.5 and 4 for most of the runtime, but then that ending, when Ned had the muscle memory of the handshake with Peter, brought it up to a 4, because that was a beautiful moment. I think Sadie Sink in this movie, not her fault. Some of the lines are just kind of corny, kind of cringe. I think this suffers from some bad MCU quips. I think there's some parts about this movie that maybe don't look that great. Maybe the CGI is kind of bad. So all of those things considered, I think this is more flawed than something like Spider-Man 2, and maybe even Spider-Man Homecoming, you could argue. But I think it also has higher highs, because I think this is where Tom Holland's character is at his best. He's miserable, sad, and lonely, which is great to see. I mean, it's a little bit sad, but it's great to see. That's how I like Spider-Man, and he is genuinely they make him relatable in this movie. This movie has something to say, and I think that Thunderbolts was a movie that had something to say, and people glazed it for that. And I thought Thunderbolts was good, better than the average Marvel movie. But I think this movie had similar things to say, that it was similar things that it was going for, and did it so much better. Um, and the stuff with Hulk is really fun and really entertaining, but the best stuff is with Ned and MJ, and how Peter has to live with them not even knowing who he is, even though he loves them so much. And they handle that in a very mature way. I like the fact that Peter and MJ don't end up together, and MJ tells him, "I'm not the same person that you dated, just because I've changed now." I think that's like actually kind of really mature, and I think that this movie is it was shockingly good. My favorite moment was when Ned and Peter were building Star Wars Legos again. I mean, that was just it was so good. Do I have my qualms with it? Sure. Was Florence Pugh's character necessary? Not really. That's when it was like, oh, this is an MCU movie. Don't forget that this is an MCU movie. But man, Brand New Day. I really liked it. I really, really liked it. And yes, I have it as the best live action Spider-Man movie. Sorry guys, sorry. It's just the best character work maybe in the entire franchise. I really liked it. I really, really liked it, okay? Now we get into the top 2. Any sensible person would have these 2 movies as their top 2. I feel like we all do, right? We all have these top 2. We all have these same top 2 movies, maybe in a different order, sure. But you expected it. We all expected it. With that said, my number 2 is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. The first Spider-Verse movie. Wow. I mean, what a fun movie. This movie is so fun. I've been throwing around best live action Spider-Man, which I said was Tom. But I think we all know the best Spider-Man is Miles Morales in the Spider-Verse movies. Such a great character. Even Peter B. Parker in this movie, the other Peter Parker, is also a great character. I feel like we all know the animation is great in this movie. I don't have to say that, but it's such a cool movie, and all the stylistic choices, all the animation choices, but the character work is also genuinely great. And yeah, what do I even have to say about this movie? It's awesome. The music, it's Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. We all know that it's great, but it's not as good, in my opinion, as the best Spider-Man movie. My number 1, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. This movie, I walked out of that theater stunned. Absolutely stunned. I was speechless walking out of Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I already talked about how amazing the animation was for Into the Spider-Verse. Across the Spider-Verse somehow blows that out of the water, because this is maybe the best animation I have ever seen put to film ever. They mix like 15 different animation styles, and there's Lego people in here, there's live action people in here, and it's so cool. And I don't care that it's like, oh, well, it's just great animation, there's no depth to it. First of all, there is depth to this movie, but yeah, the animation's awesome. And that is like, it seriously blew my mind. Yeah, it's a mind-blowing movie with, again, even better characters in the first movie. They took the first movie and they took the first movie and then did everything that was great about that movie, but made it even better. Yes, it has that annoying cliffhanger, and people say that is what brings this movie down. I don't think that makes it a worse movie. Like, it was either that or it was going to be a 4.5-hour movie, which I would have watched. But Beyond the Spider-Verse is probably my most anticipated movie that is upcoming. And that's kind of crazy for my most anticipated movie to be a superhero movie, but that is just because these 2 movies were so good. And I was just ecstatic. I think I floated out of that theater when I first saw this movie. I have come down on it a little bit because the story and characters aren't like insanely good. It's not like life-changing, but just the filmmaking, the animation on display is just, it's immaculate. This is an immaculate movie. Is it a lot of aura and hype moments? Yes, but it's aura and hype moments done well and animated beautifully and behind a fantastic score. So I don't think anybody's going to argue with me with these are the top 2. But please let me know your ranking of all the Spider-Man movies below, or the ones that you've seen. Maybe give me your top 3. It doesn't matter. Say whatever you want in the comments, because I just want comments. I'm going to be honest. I would just like to say we've been posting slower now because we're working on our brand new short film, Amateur Hour, which is going to be a hit. You guys are not even ready for that. We've already finished writing that, and we are in the process of filming it now. And in fact, I just got back from an undisclosed filming location where we filmed scene from Amateur Hour on our very first filming day. So it was literally like an hour ago when we were filming the movie. So, but yes, that does mean less videos. I'm so sorry for the 3 people watching this right now. I'm sorry that you're not going to get any more Greenlit Studio videos. But working hard on something bigger and something better. So let us know what you want to see. We got big things in the works. But that was my Spider-Man ranking. And I can never really figure out an outro for these videos, but I'm just going to say thank you.